There she is, my good friend, Valentina Shevchenko. How are you?
Hello, Ariel. Everything good. Thank you.
It's great to talk to you again, Valentina. And we are rapidly approaching this fight, so I appreciate. We'll get the the bad news out of the way. No, you told me beforehand. No ukulele. You haven't had a chance to practice. So I was gonna bring mine too, and we were gonna do like maybe a duet, but you didn't bring it, so I said I wasn't gonna bring it.
Yeah, we'll do it next time.
You keep telling me next time, Valentina. Next time. Soon I'm gonna think you don't practice anymore. Have you just dropped it? Are you on to the next thing? New instrument?
No, it's kind of like we had so many things going on, and for example, this summer we did amazing trip. So we actually was living on board on a boat, traveling in Puget Sound in Washington State for 2 months, like from Seattle, Tacoma, Olympia, Port Ludlow, Port Townsend. We came up all the way to the last port, last marina, where next is Canada only. And it's kind of like, it's every day something new. Every day you have to explore something, like learn something new, as for example, navigate through the currents, know where is the water is flat, where is like raised, when it's down, know about your engine, how to fix like small issues. And it's kind of like so much things to learn. And I just didn't have time to practice my ukulele.
Fair enough. By the way, you were living on the boat for 2 months, like sleeping there, living there?
Exactly.
Why? Why did you do this?
Here, because it's lifetime experience. It's my lifestyle, what I really love to do. I love to travel, and we're traveling the last 2 years, many travels we did by car, in our truck. And this summer we decided to explore it by water. So it was amazing experience.
Was it just you and your sister?
Coach.
Just 3 of you, that's it?
Yes, and it's kind of like our boat. It's kind of like bigger boat when it's like a trawler, kind of like a fishing boat. When you have like your sleeping place, you have like your kitchen, small kitchen. So it's kind of like limited space. You have to adjust your lifestyle. You don't have your like what you used to have, like all comfortable things by your hand. But it's amazing. It's like I don't know, refreshing, energizing. And actually my training camp, I started over there on board. Wow. And just like training in Washington State in different academies. For example, we today we are asleep in one marina, and we are staying there like for 1 or 2 days. We find a gym where we train, or we find a like outdoor place by the water, or like a park, and we just do trains there. So it was perfect starting off my training camp for this fight.
Wow. So you could be in some random city in the state of Washington, and all of a sudden one of the greatest fighters of all time just walks in. Valentina, is that what happened? Like you just walked in and there's just like people in a strip mall somewhere training? I'm assuming that's what happened, right?
This is what's happening, yes.
How did they react to you? They must have been freaking out, no?
I'm undercover.
Oh, people didn't...
I have my clothes on. I have my hood. I have everything. And once we are done starting like to hit pads, it's kind of like hard to realize that it's me.
Oh my God, that must have been incredible. You and your sister, I noticed, and your coach Pavel, you like to travel a lot. Like I always see you you're in Louisiana, you're in Texas, you're doing this stuff. Why do you guys love to travel so much around the U.S.?
Because it's amazing experience that teaching you so much things, real life things about the life, how everything works. It's teach you how you have to act like with other people, relationship. It's bring into your life new people with like similar energies that you have. So it's just amazing. And I think it's like, I would say it's real school, real education for any people.
And your sister Antonina is a pilot now. She's a full-fledged pilot, right? She has a license and everything.
Exactly. She got her private pilot license like years ago, and now she has commercial license. So she's allowed to work as being a pilot, actually. But it's still kind of like for example, this summer she did also amazing trip. So she flew from Las Vegas to all the way to Florida. It took to her like 4 days. She was stopping in different airports, like smaller airports. Sometimes even sleep in FBO. It's kind of like a very wild experience where you are not in the hotel but in FBO. But when we are speaking about smaller airports, it's kind of like no people there. It's very like good place, like good energy over there, because it's kind of, I would say, all places like marinas, ports, airport, they have such a nice vibes that you kind of like every time want to go back there, and it's just like a magnet. You just want to be there.
How do you feel when you're in the plane with her? Do you get nervous? You trust her?
Amazing. No, she's like very controlled. She, when she started to study, it's kind of like she wanted to study everything to understand how it's worked. Not only to study, like to know what she has to answer to pass the test, but actually to know how it works. And every time, like, she wants to learn more and more. And how many year and a half she joined Air Civil Patrol. So, and also this summer she had like training camp for cadets. So when cadets about like what age, 12, 14 years, they just go there and like have experience of like be there, like training there. And Antonina, as a pilot, she was teaching them, like making their first introductional flights. So teaching them a little bit, like introducing to the flight. So it was another thing that she was doing this summer, and it's like a lot of things, wonderful things we did combining between both of us.
I love it. By the way, did you go to Canada when you guys were so close, or you couldn't go because of COVID, right?
Could not. Yes, we wanted, but we could not. But we say hi from the other shore.
Great. Well, you return to action next Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday against Lauren Murphy. Lauren Murphy, like I said, is on a nice winning streak. She's won 5 in a row. She has also said that you have never fought anyone as tough as her. Valentina, what do you make of that statement?
Everyone says the same. Everyone says the same. Jessica Andrade said, you never fought someone with ability of wrestling like me. So they keep saying the same. But yeah, it's good. She believes that. As I'm saying all the time, it's going to be more frustrating for her to feel the difference.
Yeah, I would argue that perhaps the more accurate statement is that she has never fought anyone as tough as you. I think that would be more accurate. Are you impressed, though, with what she's done as of late?
It's kind of like being in this level of competition, it's going to be silly to expect someone with less skills, because we are speaking about top athletes. We are speaking about the elite of fighters who are on the top of the world fighters, right? And it's kind of like, definitely if she got where she is, she has to be good. And I'm preparing for the good fight. I'm preparing for a lot of like things coming out from her. But in the same time, I know that she's strong, she's dangerous, but it doesn't mean that it's something else, something beyond what I'm expecting. I'm expecting hard fight. That's why I hard train. I train very hard. I train very strong, and that's why my training camp is like full power, and it's continue like all the way till this week, the hard trainings. And then for the fight week, we're gonna start to slow down a little bit, but like the same, just to make sure that I am in my best shape and ready for the fight and my best like moments.
I have to say, the Valentina that we saw back in April was one of my favorite versions of Valentina Shevchenko, because you went out there, you were on a mission, You were going to prove everyone wrong, shut everyone up, and just completely dismantle Jessica Andrade. You won't say this. You won't ever say this because you're too humble to say it, but you were out there to destroy her, and we saw that. I mean, that was an incredible performance. I love the fire that you showed. Is that the type of style that we're going to see next Saturday, or are you going to bring us something different to the table?
You know, in my fights, it's kind of like I'm getting myself ready for anything and just be able to act and everywhere in the fight in the same confidence that I do. That's why we train like not just one style. We are working on different fight tactics, and we are working on everything what can happen, what would happen, and what has the like possibility 1% that it's gonna happen. But we're still working on that. That's why it's kind of like I every time going into the fight and look for the moment when I can finish the fight sooner. And this is the moment when, you know, it's kind of like when you go there, your opponent expecting something from you and you break her expectation and you feel how inside she's breaking down. And this is the moment when you go on top to finish her. And this is the like feeling what I look at into my fights.
You can feel that moment. Like that is a tangible, you can feel that. What does that feel like to you?
Definitely.
When you notice that?
What does it feel? It's kind of like internal things.
Yeah.
You can't understand it before you actually understand it.
I get it.
To understand it, you have to feel it.
I get it.
To feel it, you have to have a lot of experience.
I get it. It's just something inside of you, and you could just sense their will breaking, right? Like you feel it.
You know, when you are for so long in martial arts, fighting for so many different opponents in different circumstances, in different promotions, different like level of promotions. And it's just like, you can feel tiny details. You can feel actually the energy leading to the fight. And I mean, not the energy of the venue, your own energy, because many fighters who just starting their career, they cannot control their feelings, emotions, and that's why you can see most of them burn out before the fight actually started. Why it happened? Only because they don't have enough experience. It cannot control their emotions. But when you have a lot of experience, you actually can turn this upside down and feel this energy toward your favor. And this is what I tell, when you are starting to see with your internal vision, not only like what you see exactly, but you see the picture, but you understand what's going on underground the picture.
You know, that's a really interesting thing that you say, because we have seen throughout the last decade or so in the UFC where there's a champion who holds the title for a very long time, and then eventually they lose, and it's almost like they're relieved that it's over. We saw this with Anderson. We saw this with Demetrius Johnson. You know, it's just like, okay, I'm done with it. It brings a lot of pressure, a lot of attention. It's like, I did it. You don't strike me as the type of person, at least not now, and you're going to, you know, I think you're going to win for a very long time. I think the gap between you and 125 is the biggest gap between any champion in any division in the sport right now. You don't strike me as the type of person that lets the crown of being the queen of the flyweights get to you, the pressure get to you, that you get tired of being the person that everyone's gunning for. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And if so, how do you not let it get to you? How do you not allow it to be too much unbearable to where you're actually relieved one day when you're no longer champion?
I think it's very simple and easy. Explain because where I started my martial art career, when I grew up, when I was born, it's so far from, for example, here from United States. People who are born here, they are very lucky because they kind of like having how many 5-6 fights in entire their career, and they can be potentially in UFC already in the biggest promotion of the world.
Right.
But for me to do everything what I did to be here, I have to have long way. I have to open the doors for fighters of my country, for people around the world know that Kyrgyzstan, they are strong fighter like community, strong MMA community, that we have a lot of talents, that in Kyrgyzstan, MMA was kind of like starting to develop in the 90s. And since 90s, it has like, we have our like national style MMA sport. It's called Kula 2. And actually this sport is in physical university of the country. And actually you can go there and have your official like education, being a Kula 2 fighter coach, or like what you choose to study. So it's like under the government. We have MMA under the government. That's why MMA developing in Kyrgyzstan for a long time already. And to be able to say this story to told, I have to be here for people starting to listen me, right? And to come here, I have to go not, for example, just straight. I have to go all over the world to come over here. And it was a lot of different things. It was not easy. It was hard. And I have all this experience. It's just like teach me that I have to be the person what I am right now. And definitely understand what you want from the life, how hard it was to get there. I mean, if we are speaking about like being UFC champion, how hard to get into here in this position. And you know, once you are here, you have to hold it. And to hold it good, you have to focus on the real things. You cannot let like the like all this like fame of these 9 words come into your mind, into your like head, because when it's there, it starts to work against you. It's like eating yourself from inside, and you kind of like understand it, and you work toward it, like not letting these like things like truly not to start to believe in it, like truly. And also the other the best things what I have is people who surrounding me, my sister, my coach, my family, like all these training partners what I have. They are just like so good. For example, when my family, sister and coach, when they see something different in my behalf, like my actions, they like, okay, she's starting to listen wrong words.
Oh, wow.
So they tell me. And they tell me like, Valentina, just like for you, let know this is not good what you are doing. And I like, okay, I have to focus me right now. So I let it go, and I became like, I try to become the same person.
Wow. So what sometimes they say, do they say your head's getting too big?
It's not that often. It's not that often happening, because I know how to control it by myself. But it was happening before, because definitely younger you are, less you understand. Like older you are, more experience you have, you understand more. And that's why you can control actually all your emotion and all your thoughts and everything that you are thinking about.
When was the last time they told you, hey, Valentina, you're getting a little too cocky here. Your head's getting a little too big. When was the last time that happened?
You know, it cannot be like that.
Okay.
It cannot be exactly these words, but you know, it's kind of like usually I'm trying to be like very polite, not offending people, just on like just because I think this is right, I will say something like rude, and like I just trying to avoid this, because I know the word can hurt more than like action or than anything. And sometimes I just like when I stop to think and just like say something, and it's kind of like I feel, okay, this is kind of like breaking the energy. It's not good. It's wrong. Then I realize, for example, they even wouldn't tell me that, but by their kind of like how they look at me, and I feel that they don't like it, I kind of understand by myself that was wrong, and I have to come back on where I was before.
When was the last time, by the way, that you were in Kyrgyzstan?
For several months, I was in 2011.
Wow.
And for just a little bit, just a kind of like a week, it was 2019.
So the last time was almost, over 2 years ago.
Yes, but it was so short. It was so much action. Like
That's when they
because
did a big reception for you, right? The big thing with all the fans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I brought UFC belt to show to my people, to show like everyone. That's why it was nonstop action, and I really could not enjoy my country as I wanted. That's why I would say like it doesn't count.
Right. And so that's the last time you saw your family back there?
Yes, it was the last time.
Is that hard for you?
Of course, yes. It's like, it's kind of like, yes, definitely we speak by Skype, we speak like we can see each other, WhatsApp, whatever, but it doesn't, it's not the same when actually you can hug your mom.
Of course.
You can like just stay with her, and it's different. I miss a lot. My family is over there, and I hope that we were planning to go there in 2020, but with all these COVID things, it's kind of like hard to travel that far, and I hope it's gonna be relieving soon and we could go there.
By the way, just a couple things left for you. We're seeing a lot of these fighters from MMA go over to boxing and try it out there. Some having success, some not. Anderson Silva is having a lot of success. I feel like you would be, we're not seeing a lot of females go from MMA to boxing. I feel like you would be the one who could do really well in the world of boxing. Does this interest you at all?
I don't see a reason why I have to do it. I have like 12 professional boxing fights, and I did it. I know exactly what it feels, and it's kind of like, it's for me, being UFC champion, fighting in a mixed martial arts, universal style, when the technique is everything. It's like you actually know all kind of martial arts. You are like perfect boxer, you are perfect Muay Thai fighter, taekwondist, you are perfect grappler, wrestler. You are everything in martial arts. It's kind of like going to boxing. It's kind of like, you can, why not? But for me, it's a little bit downgrade.
Okay. All right. I respect that. I know you don't like to look too far in advance, but Valentina, I'm just looking, like the rankings. After this one, there's not a lot left of the people that you haven't fought. Cynthia Calvillo's there. She's fighting Andrade. But what if she slips up and loses to Andrade? Is there enough for you at 125, or, are your days at 125 coming to an end? And I know you get asked about Amanda all the time and all this stuff, but there's not a lot going on right now at 125 in terms of new blood. How do you feel about the options for you potentially, if all goes well in this fight next Saturday?
The interesting thing about 125 is that this category, I think it's growing up faster than any categories. I feel 135, it's kind of like, I don't see many faces in 135. I see many faces left 135 to fight 125. Same happening with 115. They are going up. So everyone is going to 125 because it's like, I say the most comfortable weight class for female fighters. We are like mostly like this size, not too big, not too small. It's kind of like 115, 125, 135 right now. I feel it's kind of like just few names, and no more like bright fighters like over there, all like the old fighters. I mean, the time wise, what was there, they are still like there, but kind of like not many faces. But in 125, every time you see new fighters coming in, bringing like young fighters with this like desire of fight, like a lot of like big show expectation and everything. And that's why it's I think it's every time gonna be people there, every time gonna be female fighters there to fight. Yeah.
So you're not worried?
I'm not worried. No,
okay.
Never. I am never not worried.
I know. It's amazing. I wish I was the same way. I'm always worried about everything. Last thing before I let you go, I saw Khabib had some very nice things to say about you when he was in Kyrgyzstan. Can I ask, who does Valentina love to watch fight? Who do you say, oh, male, female, I don't care. Their fight, I'm going out of my way. Because if you respect them, to me, that's like the ultimate compliment, because I think so highly of you as a fighter. So who do you love to watch on television live in terms of MMA? Any weight class, male, female, doesn't matter. Is there someone that comes to mind? And your sister obviously doesn't count because that's your sister. But outside of your sister,
That's fair. That's fair.
Anyone come to mind? Who do you love watching? Who do you really respect as a fighter?
In my perspective, it's kind of like hard question because when you are so stuck to the name, it's kind of like you are mostly acting like a fan, right? Because you are, this name, I have to watch his fight, her fight, like whatever. But when you are a professional fighter, you actually don't focus much on the name. You're focused more on the quality of the fights, because sometimes there's like so many fighters, new fighters in like UFC or other promotions, and they are showing so good fight, so bright technique, so like excellent tactic, and you were like, wow, this was excellent fight. This is so nice to watch. So in general, my answer is I not sticking to the names. I'm just like about the fight by itself, because I really like to watch the art of martial arts, no matter who performing it.
Okay. You weren't going to give it.
But definitely, if you're speaking about fighters, I very like the fighters, like universal fighters, who can do like everything, who can do like striking, grappling. I think like, for example, Kamaru Usman, he's a bright example of it. Israel, John Jones, like who else? Fighters who has a lot of like character, charisma, Jorge Masvidal, same like Nick Diaz, he's fighting with the same card. So it's kind of like, you cannot just say fighter because his fight style, because when you're choosing your favorite fighter, you like his charisma or her charisma. And this is like combination of everything. How every people can bring up the fight style plus their style of being, acting, or like what they are doing before the fight, in the fight, after the fight. So it's like very good combination of everything.
Well, I mean, you and Nick Diaz fighting on the same card, I feel like you're the type of fighter, Valentina, that we will appreciate more when you are gone because of your dominance. Because, in many years. Well, eventually you're going to go on to become a full-time spy, I would imagine. So you're going to have to leave the sport eventually. So
full-time actor, maybe. My spy. Python don't get paid that much.
That's a good point. Are you going to go into acting? Is that because you're in the Halle Berry movie, right? That's coming out?
And they're expecting so much. I'm very excited about the premiere. It's going to be November 25, or 15. Yeah, it's going to be November for sure. Yeah, okay. So very excited.
And do you speak in it? Do you talk in the movie, or are you just fighting?
I talk. Yes, I talk and fight.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for that. Yes, that is in November. For now, though, next Saturday, September 25th, UFC 266, the return of Valentina Shevchenko against Lauren Murphy. Always a pleasure, Valentina. Thank you so much for the time, and good luck to you next Saturday night.
Thank you so much, Ariel. Every time, pleasure to speak with you. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. There she is, the one and only Valentina Shevchenko, one of the best fighters on the planet.